All right, so this is fight 282 up in Buriram, festival fight, which is my favorite type of venue and event. It was a rematch against Phetnamwan, who was also my fight 280. She's significantly bigger than me. We were estimating about 10 kilos. People were launching these like bottle rockets, and they don't explode. They were just like shooting into the air, which was kind of incredible. And Kevin and I have tried to like figure out when to get to events, because generally festival fights are like a DJ playing a set where like they can remix and they can put things in different order. So even if they say that you're fight number 11 or something like that, they might move you earlier or later or anything like that. And the last time we had fought up here, Turkey is who books these fights for me. The last time we fought up here, we showed up late because I was very late in the card and the show hadn't even started yet. So this time we decided to go quite late, even though I was much earlier in the card. And it actually worked out really well. Like, it ended up being kind of like a bam, 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 and I really liked the energy of being able to just like get in there fast. Telling Kevin that the bottle rockets are not exploding. But it's one of these things where like you kind of can never control how fast or how slow something's going to happen. So you just constantly have to like control your own energy and your own mind and try to like figure out how to keep up and down the way that you need to go. So on our left here, we have like the full festival event going on. There's a school over on the left. And so the festival grounds over there are kind of like food stalls. You can see they're selling jeans. These girls came over to me. They're so excited to see a farang. So they're saying hello in English. And I ask in Thai, where is the ring? Like, where's the Muay Thai ring? And she's like, I'll take you. And she like took my hand and started walking me towards the ring, which I saw pretty immediately on the right once we started walking, but it was so cute. Just like, I will walk the farang over to her Muay Thai event. A lot of young Thais learn English in school, and so they're very, very excited to practice it when they see a farang. Turkey saw me, he's very agitated. He's telling me right now that there's a dirham, which I already knew. That means a side bet. So like each side puts in money and winner takes all. This little kid with his hands wrapped, I don't know if he'd fought yet or not. But he's pulling me along and he keeps telling me that there's some very important thing, like we really have to hurry. And I'm like, well, what fight number is it and what fight number am I? Because like you can always rearrange. And he's yelling at me already that he wants me to knock her out this time. And I'm laughing because I'm like, she's 10 kilos bigger than me, but I'll try. And he's like, no, I really want you to knock her out this time. You can totally do it. I was like, I will try. But she's very, very much bigger than me. So because he was so like agitated and trying to like get everything going, my energy actually came way down to like counterbalance it. So we're deciding where to put the mat. Look at this beautiful family of this mom and her kids watching us, like what the hell is going on. I was asking where the bathroom is, and generally there's a bathroom right next to or like within, I don't know, a 2-minute walk or something from the ring. There was not. They're like, oh, it's so far away. It's like it's all the way over there. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I can go like duck into a bush or like, you know, in the darkness of parked cars or whatever the thing is, but I have to pee before I start getting ready. They're already like, you need to start massaging, like get going, wrap your hands. Like he's very get in the ring now kind of situation. I couldn't figure out where to put my monkan. You want to put your monkan somewhere high generally, and there's nothing high around me. So I looped it onto the bike, and then the person moved their bike. So you can put your monkan like not super high. You can put it just hopefully above waist level, but it can be tricky. I went and I peed out in the bushes, and Turkey was really upset. Like he was like, that's very unsafe. You need to not do that. He sent Kevin after me. So if you're a woman and you're out in the provinces, and you need to go pee in a bush, bring someone with you. So I wrapped my hands. Turkey's son, whose name is Champ, did my massage for me. That's Turkey's wife. he was really just so excited. He was so excited. He was telling me that there's some like Sosor guy that was waiting and they're trying to get me in the ring. I think he's a local government head. I don't know what the initials stand for on these things. But he was like a VIP. He was on the VIP stage. I think he put a garland on me when I was actually in the ring. I felt really good. I was very nervous before this fight. I hadn't fought in quite a while, like 3 months or something. And rematches, I have a very good history with rematches, but they make me quite nervous because now someone knows what you are, and so it's always interesting to see how they're going to solve what your thing is, because then you have to solve the solve. And that much of a size disparity is always a challenge. Like it's never easy. It's never like, oh, I did this before, I can do it again. But I'd been clinching at Buriram leading up to this fight, and I hadn't been clinching the way that I like to clinch for years. So it was getting back to my kind of like monster clinch sessions, which I was hoping would make a big difference in this fight. So you get up on a VIP stage. All these people are important. These are promoters and local government officials. And they put me on this chair to take a picture with me and my opponent. We're on either side of this guy who Turkey was like so excited to like rush me over to. And as I'm sitting next to my opponent, who I've met before, but like we're sitting next to each other, and Turkey goes, "Oh, she is really big." Like, did you forget? And as I'm sitting there, someone in her corner goes like this, which in Thai is how you indicate different sizes of fighters, because you show like your fingers being very uneven. So someone in her corner was doing this, and I'm like, are they intimidating me, or are they telling her, like, don't worry about it, you're so much bigger? Like, it was I didn't know what that was meant for. This is Kevin coming over in my corner. You have to like wade through the crowd. I get in through the like catwalk, but Kevin has to like wade through the crowd, and when you come out, you wade through the crowd. They're usually gamblers sitting up on ladders. People will rent ladders out at these events. As Kevin was passing, someone was yelling, "Namyeon, Namyeon." Namyeon is blue. So as Kevin was passing, someone was like making their bet for the blue corner. Last time I fought her with Turkey, he forgot to put my monkan on, so we're making like it's complex because we have to come to the middle for the VIPs to like put the garlands on us, and usually you already have your monkan on when they do that, but Turkey is not used to cornering for women, so there's this complex thing about having to put the monkan on after you've already gotten in the ring because women go under the bottom rope that he's not accustomed to. Never knows when to put it on. So VIPs will come in and like do this garland thing, and you just lie to them, bow your head as they're putting it on. At some like tourist stadium spots, they'll actually invite people up from the audience to do this, and just you don't have to know who anybody is, just be polite to everybody. They do these photos beforehand. Sometimes they bring in sponsors, and Kevin getting a glimpse of the crowd all around him. I love crowds at festival fights. They come right up to the ring. They're very excited. They're very loud. Turkey was very excited about. He wanted me to use my elbows. He's like, "You've been training with the elbow hunter. You need to use your elbows." I was like, I will try. This is the thing about people being very excited and telling you what to do in your fight, or directing you on things. It's like you can take that or you can leave that. You don't have to listen to anybody. You can really just like take all of it in and be like, I will try, I will do my best, all the thing. But you really just need to kind of like know that once the fight starts, you will go and do whatever you need to do in the fight for the fight. So just take it, be like, yes, I will try to kick, I will try to clinch, I will try to knee, I will try to throw elbows. We are just two very, very different sized people. You can hear the murmuring of the crowd a little bit. People are starting to like rabble around about who they're going to place their bet on. Phetnamwan is local, so people know her more than they know me, but quite a few people remembered me. There was a guy in my corner, like on my mat as I was getting ready, who remembered me from not even my fight against her, but the one before that. He didn't know that I had fought her before. But he's like, I saw you before against, I can't remember her name, and I was like, oh, who was it? Phetnwan Chor. I was like, you saw me against Phetnwan Chor. And he was like, yeah. So I know that I'm like memorable. There's not a lot of like tiny little Farang women covered in tattoos who come up and fight that you would like confuse me with someone else. But I'm always kind of surprised when people like make the connections. They're like, I've seen you fight before, I want to do this thing, fight like this. It's nice to be remembered like that, or to like have left an impact. The crowd gets a little bit agitated every time I do the like executioner part of my Ramwe. My garland came off the back, and I was trying really hard to not let it fall off. The ref totally saw it, fixed it. Great guy. So basically what the ref tells you when you come to the middle like that is don't foul and listen to me and fight as hard as you can. Those are like the three things they always say to you, so you're just like, yes. Turkey telling me again, knock her out. So last time I fought her, the thing that I felt helped me a lot with her size and with her style and my style was staying close to her. So I really just wanted to stay close to her again. So I'm trying to kind of like crowd her a little bit. I was thinking that teeps would be a good idea. I had been working on like a teep jab thing in my pad work. But basically, I'm just trying to not fall off of her when she attacks me, because she comes in these like bursts, like she'll like clash against me, and I don't want to fall off of that, because one, with our size difference, that makes it look like she's really impacting me. But two, psychologically, when people like come at you with like a flurry, they anticipate backing you up. That's where they need to breathe. So if you don't back up, you're taking their opportunity to breathe, and it kind of fatigues people without you really having to do anything. Grabbing the rope there is not good on my part. I'm not generally a rope grabber, but apparently it's in my unconscious there. So you can see how even just my bouncing leg and staying in is kind of giving her trouble with her rhythm. I'm trying to break her rhythm. I was a little bit worried that my shin would split open again. One of the reasons I hadn't fought in 3 months was I was giving my shin time to heal because it had split twice, split in 2 different fights. But I don't think about blocking. Like, I'm not like, don't block or block. It just kind of like is very automatic. I'm a little bit struggling here because you can see that I'm just kind of following her around the ring. I'm not really cutting off the ring, but the pace is pretty slow. So it's a very slow crawl. Here I go, getting in. She's clearly practiced this. Oh, I tried to throw an elbow there. Since our last fight, she worked really hard on keeping her hips in and basically just clutching when I get into the clinch. This is actually a good way to stagnate, is to just hold, because the ref usually comes and breaks it. So I've, in my own training, worked really hard on when someone just tries to like hold you, how to score within that or move within that so that it doesn't get broken. You can't always control that. So see how she's just gripping me up top like this? I need to make space down below. She's trying to land knees. You can see our size difference there. So round 1, a little bit uneventful, but I'm happy with how close I stayed to her because that was kind of my plan. I came back and Turkey is happy. He's like, okay, like good enough for the first one. These guys in my corner were awesome. Like, they basically were just kind of like, she's tired already just in round 1, just from my pressuring of her, just by staying close. They could see she was breathing heavier than I was. So basically just stay close again and then try to bring out more weapons, try to grab her and clinch. have this towel. I always have a towel because I'm a bleeder. I get cut often, so I always have a towel because you need the towel to like still the bleeding. This guy is like fanning me with the towel, and then the referee didn't have one because it's a festival fight. Usually they have like stacks of towels and they change them between every fighter and stuff like this at like stadium fights. He didn't have a towel at all, so my towel was being thrown to the ref when we would get back in the middle of the ring, and he would like wipe our gloves down, and then he'd throw it back to my corner. As someone who's fought a lot in Thailand, I found that very funny. It's not really a remarkable thing, but I noted it. That's my towel. So the ref right there was saying to me, he goes, reo, reo. Like he wants me to be faster. So I'm sticking to her, I'm following her, but he wants me to be faster. He's talking to her too. He might be saying the same thing to her. I'm not sure, but he's like, pick up the pace a little bit in this fight. So I'm bouncing a little harder. Getting a little bit turned sideways on those punches. That's something that I need to work on. I have worked on, and I need to work on much more. I really just want to like duck into those like Karahat used to. Oh, she's holding hard. She scored there. I get my score. She's trying to push my face. Fortunately, I have a very, very strong neck from clinching with very harsh boys. See how she like does a step 1-2? Like that should scare me and back me up. Here she's trying to push my head down again. She's clearly worked on this and is struggling a little bit with the fact that she can't do it. But this bounce that she's doing is really good because she's putting her weight on me. She's making me kind of carry her weight a little bit, which is significant given our size differences. Even in a same size fighter, that tires people out. That bounce is a good idea. Kevin is probably screaming at me to lock my hands. I'm not locking my hands, but I am trying to kind of create distance with my elbows. I'm getting around her a little bit. She's actually scoring in that clinch exchange. She landed a couple of knees, and I wasn't throwing knees at all. So even though I kind of got behind her, she was scoring and I wasn't. She missed that knee completely. So I'm scoring and she's not here. She's trying to turn me. And this looks bad because I'm so much smaller than her that she can't turn me. That looks really good for me. She's leaving her leg up there as the ref breaks us to kind of give a little like nod towards that she finished that exchange. I'm actually getting her head turned sideways, which is what she was trying to do to me. Here I'm landing these up kind of near her face, which is starting to make her very unhappy. I'm bending her root, whereas my root is actually quite upright. And I'm pushing her face. You can see this guy who's standing in her corner. The expression on his face is letting you know how this is going. So here, lots of unanswered knees, but then she gets kind of a big one that pops me off, and now she's trying to land at distance, and I'm just trying to collapse that space back up. She's trying to pull me into the ropes, which, because of her size, she's able to do. So I get her down on the ground right at the end of round 2. That was a good round for me in that she wasn't able to turn me. She was stopping scoring. She had scores, and then it started being less and less. So it looks like I kind of came up as my scoring was coming up, and hers was going down as her scoring was going down, and I was controlling her more in the clinch. So you just look at these kind of changes. Like it's important to look at how one round changes to the other. This is one of the reasons why you want to have like an acceleration as you go. That's one of the reasons that fighters will start out slower in rounds 1 and 2, is because they really want to be able to tell a story of climbing and of accelerating as they go. If you start out really strong and then your opponent was kind of coasting in gear 2 and they go to gear 3 and you were already in gear 3, it looks like they went like this and it looks like you went like that. So there's a way to tell a story in narrative scoring that you don't know what your opponent's going to do, but you know what you're capable of doing. So for me, as a Muay Thai fighter, as a Dern fighter, I don't start out super slow. Like, I don't try to not bring out my weapons. Kevin yells at me in fights where I am too slow in rounds 1 and 2 because I actually want to drag my opponents down energy-wise. But you do always want to have more gears for the later rounds to be able to step it up. So because I did well in round 2, if I now come down and she's able to control me more, or she's able to stymie me, or she's able to move me, that's going to look bad for me, as opposed to just it wasn't as good as round 2. So she's trying hard, like she's actually scoring more. She's trying to push us into the ropes. Again, because of her size, she's able to do that. And she's really kind of like clutching. But because I'm able to keep my head under her, she can't crush me down, I think the way that she's practiced. And given her size, see how she kind of swallows me a little bit? But I'm scoring as we go to the ropes. Kevin said that the gamblers behind him had been cheering for her in round 1, and that by round 3 they started getting really quiet. I'm starting to land a little bit of hands on my way in. I had an idea to punch her body, but punching the body feels very risky to me in fights. I practice it, but I don't actually do it that much in fights. There's a hook. Oh, tried to throw an elbow there. That was good. That was for Turkey. That was good. My guard is good in this fight because I knew that she was going to be punching me, so I'm actually blocking with my elbows more or less because I want my arms to be able to engage and grab right away. If you block in certain ways, you can't actually grab, so you want to have kind of a longish block. So my elbows blocking is what allows me to grab off of it. There's a body punch. I think I threw an elbow there too that I kind of like leapt off the floor for. Oh, starting to get those knees in. Ref comes to rescue her for a second, head out the ropes. This is very dominant. So I know that now that I've landed a couple of knees, she's going to be hurt and tired and scared, and I need to just push really fast. I'm starting to dig my knees in, not nearly as well as I can in practice. She pops out here, and I just have to, I should be really closing here. So she's looking at the ref there, actually wanting him to break. I didn't know that in the fight. He's looking at her. I thought he was just going to give a count or something, but he's looking at her as she's looking at him like, come break this, and he comes and stops the fight, so that's stoppage. Turkey was so happy. The look on his face, Kevin took a photo of that. He was like very emotionally charged by that win. That's nice. She's not protesting it. She totally is done with that. Which is good. Very conscious of like looking towards the camera to take a photo. That's actually a really beautiful little moment there. Turkey saying thank you to the referee. I was pretty charged. Like I was very happy with what I was able to do in that fight. It wasn't necessarily what Turkey was telling me to do. It wasn't necessarily what my like ideal plan was in terms of like I wanted to keep and jab and like body punch more. That's not really what I did, but I made an adaptation to what was actually happening in the ring. Look at these people's faces. This is awesome that you get to see people's faces as I wade through the crowd. When Kevin's following me, he's so tall, sometimes you don't get to see that, but you can see everyone's expressions. It's like, people are very excited. They always want to shake your hand, because that's a Western thing. They're like, I know how to shake hands. Kevin said pricky no. Pricky no is the smallest but spiciest Thai chili. This is the nickname that Master K gave me back in New York when I was training with him. And it's used commonly in Thailand to refer to things that are small but mighty. So he's yelling pricky no at me. Remba has a little girl fighter named Pricky no. That's her like fight name. It's very, very cute. And then you just go back behind the audience and it's like quiet again. And it's just, you get the like thumbs up from people and they're excited. I've written about this as the field of merit. People kind of like see you as a lucky object after you win, or if you do really well, like if you fought really hard, they're very happy and they want to kind of touch you and kind of like get a little bit of the shine for themselves. It's weird as an introvert, but it's actually really sweet. It's really kind of amazing. And then this kid who's helping me with my gloves, he has Muay Thai shorts on and a shirt on. He's fighting later. They had talked to him for like 4 seconds before. They're like, when are you fighting? And he's like, oh, in a couple of fights. He comes over, we've never met, he doesn't know me, and he starts helping taking my gloves off. This is something that like a low person in your gym, like the boys or like your cornermen, it's not like disparaging in any way, but like this is a low man's job to take the gloves off because they're really dirty and sweaty and Vaselined and gross. And he's helping. Like, I find this really moving. Turkey is like, that was definitely 10 kilos. He's like, that was 10 kilos. I was like, yeah, I told you this when I got here. And he was so excited that he was like, I want you to fight the champion of Asan. And I was like, okay. And he's like, the champion of Asan beat this girl that you just beat. I want you to fight her. And I was like, okay, well, how big is she? Because if she beat her, she's got to be her size. And he's like 60 kilos. I was like, we'll see about that, Turkey. We'll see. But he's excited. He's very amped on it. Listen to him. He's so excited. I'm telling Kevin how Turkey was like, oh, knock her out, it's no big deal. And then when he saw me next to her, he's like, oh, shit. He's so sweet.
I'm juggling my hands here. We are leaving fight 282. Got a palindrome there. We're in Buriram again. Turkey had set this up for me. I fought a rematch against Phetnamwan, who I fought for fight 280. If y'all remember, she's quite large in terms of being larger than me, probably about 10 kilos. It was pretty funny because Turkey the whole time, like the minute we got here, he's telling me like, you train with Yod Kumpan, I want to see your elbows. Your weapons aren't powerful, you have to do more. And I'm like, yeah, she's big, like she's bigger than me. And he's like, it doesn't matter, I want you to knock her out, there's a Derman. So I'm like, okay, like I have to deal with this kind of pressure energy for 10 years. I can handle this, like no problem. I'm like, yeah, kind of thing. And then we get in the ring and we have to like stand there next to each other while like head honchos put garlands on us. And I go over to get my Monkan put on by Turkey. And he goes, holy shit, she's bigger than you. It's like, yes. Do you not remember this? From literally being in my corner the last time I fought her. But I won by knockout in round 3 or ref stoppage. So I feel good about what I had in mind to do and was able to do a few of the things that Turkey said, but the important thing is I did what I wanted to do. And I think it's taken me, Kevin, 281 fights to be able to say that.
All of them.
So, thank you, as always, to my sponsors, Onyx MMA in Singapore. They've been with me forever. Thank you to my patrons who make this possible. Thank you to Lobo. Thank you to the boys at Ramba who have been clinching the ever-loving shit out of me for the past maybe 2 weeks. Maybe it's closer to 3 weeks. I started on May 1st. Yeah, so thank you to everyone who helps me. And of course to Kevin, who's always here. Always. Now we're gonna go home to the animals, which is the main thing.